We want to go now to Colorado's Democratic Senator Mark Udall. He is in Denver this morning. He has been one of those who has said that we need to rein in the National Security Agency. And I guess I would ask you, Senator, how did you come down on what the president said on Friday? You think he did the right thing? Did he go too far? Did he not go far enough?
Bob, if you'll indulge me for just a minute, we've got a big football game here in Denver today, and I just want the country to know that 364 days of the year we're Patriots, but today we're Broncos fans. And I anticipate at the end of the day the other Patriots, the New England Patriots, are going to go home to Boston, and the Broncos are going to be going to the Super Bowl. So we'll hope for a great game, and thanks for indulging me. I think the president reached a milestone on Friday. He announced the end of the bulk collection of Americans' phone records. He showed he was listening to those of us across the political spectrum. I feel like I've been a voice in the wilderness all these years, and we're now in a position to keep faith with the Constitution, to also respect Americans' privacy. And what he basically did was take the recommendations of his own panel. With all due respect to my good friend Chairman Rogers, there have been some abuses, not intentional, but there have been some abuses.
Well, let me just interrupt you there, Senator. What abuses? What have
there
been
were enough
the abuses?
abuses?
But what were
there
they?
was enough Yeah, they were, they were in 2009. The FISA court ruled that there were a lot of unintentional abuses. They therefore shut down the program and demanded that individual warrants be generated or individual court orders be generated to query the database. And the point I want to make is that the phone companies right now are collecting all this data. We're mandating that they provide it to us. It's their business model to collect this data. They're not going to use that data in ways that will break faith with their customers. I found Chairman Rogers' parade of horribles about divorce attorneys and so on a little bit of a reach. But the point here is that we can protect Americans' privacy, as the panel pointed out, and our quality of life, while also keeping our country safe. So the president did the right thing on the bulk data collection program. We'll keep those authorities in place under the so-called 215 provision in the law, but we won't collect every American's phone records almost every day and in this massive database.
What is the difference, Senator, in collecting people's financial information? We all have to tell the government our financial status so we can pay our income tax to make sure everybody gets their taxes paid. What's the difference in that and having somebody's phone number on record?
Well, there's the important distinction here, and that is the consent of the citizenry. And Bob, the law that created 215 under the leadership of Jim Sensenbrenner, Congressman Sensenbrenner, was designed to be more targeted and narrowly interpreted. Over time, the law has been secretly interpreted to be broader and broader and broader. And the case I've been trying to make is that we ought to limit it, that we can be effective in protecting our country, but we don't need to collect every single phone record of every single American on every single day. If you think about it, although these are just phone numbers and times, after a while they become a form of content. And you can read, if you will, what people are doing by analyzing those numbers. And when you combine with the fact that this program has not provided uniquely valuable intelligence, there's no example of where the 215, the bulk data collection program, has provided uniquely valuable intelligence. We don't need it, and in so doing we keep faith with the Constitution. We lessen the costs involved, and we rebuild trust in the intelligence community. That's really been my mission. I want to join Chairman Rogers and thank all the men and women who work to keep our country safe. But I want to rebuild support for and trust in the intelligence community, and that trust has fallen, and it's now time to rebuild it, and the President took a big step forward on Friday. Now, we've got a mission still in front of us, and that is to implement all the changes that he proposed.
Well, what do you think the situation on Capitol Hill is for that? Because what I'm hearing is there's no, in the House, the votes may not even be there to continue the programs that we have.
Well, here's what looms, Bob. Next year, these authorities expire. And I believe without real reform, not a veneer of reform, but the reform that the President's panel proposed, and that in many ways the President proposed on Friday, these laws will expire. So we have real motivation to get it right and to work together. And I'm heartened by the fact that the concerns about these programs have been from right, left, and center. This has not divided on partisan lines. Americans' privacy is at the heart of our freedoms. You know, you think about freedom, the freedom to be left alone, which is what privacy is what really characterizes much of what we as Americans think is important.
All right. Well, Senator, thank you so much for giving your side of this very important discussion that is now going on, and we will be back in 1 minute.